You know me as Hart, and some of you already know that I'm in the process of forming a nonprofit foundation to help the disabled. I'll talk a little bit about that, and I'm going to answer a few questions that were posed to me on one of my videos where I was challenged to do the vlog. So here we go. So what are my favorite songs or singers? The huge bandwidth of music that I like. It's easier to tell you that generally I don't like hardcore disco music, but love everything else, even other countries' music. The key for me is I love variety. If I'm listening, no matter how much I love it, if I listen to something over and over and over again, then it's got to go for a long time before I hear it again. So I did make myself a cheat sheet with a list because I didn't want to leave any of my favorites out. First one is by it's called Chasing Cars, and I can't remember the name of the band. And I'm really bad with names of things. But the first one is If I Lay Here, If I Just Lay Here. Anyway, I'm not going to sing any of the other songs for you, but that particular one, what happened, and this is how it all started. I was living in my house and I was a single mom of 4 kids. Work-wise, I was doing fine, so it's not as though we were having a hard time making ends meet. But here's what happened. Within 2 days, my refrigerator went bad. My kids did their own laundry, and so one of them accidentally had the washing machine on low water cycle, and so the washing machine had to get repaired, even though she had a full load. She felt bad. I mean, it was a true mistake. But washing machine had to get repaired. The dishwasher broke, and something else. I don't even remember what it was, but whatever that something else was. I just laid down right there in the middle of the floor and started singing the If I Lay Here. So that's probably by far and away because it takes me to a space where I can smile, even if the whole world is just going awry. And that's a simple, fun awry. That's not a real genuine, my world is going awry. But, you know, yeah, long story. I love that song. Next one, Kryptonite. I like Kryptonite just because when I sing it, I feel like I'm making fun of myself and calling myself Kryptonite. That one's a lot of fun too. Bohemian Rhapsody. I can't hear that song without breaking into it and singing that song. I love Queen. It's a journey, and it was painful for him to write that, and it felt like I was listening to a true artist write the lyrics to that song because it came so from the heart in the way that he wrote it. Actually, that just takes me to, even if it's a disco song, it just doesn't matter what the song is. You give me good lyrics, I think it's a good song. And that's probably for my love of poetry. 1920s jazz, or any jazz for that matter. That's the one thing that I could pretty consistently put on is jazz. Because it's such a variety of different sounds. Sometimes I get in the mood for listening to completely different countries' sounds, the types of music that they have from their past, and that's fun to hunt down. Anyway, enough answering on the music question, but I have a fond love for a wide variety of different music types. The next question is, if you had $1 million, what would you do? It's a short answer for me. Absolutely nothing differently. To me, money is pretty much an illusion. Whatever is going on in my world, I can find a way to be happy about it. And it doesn't matter what my financial situation is. The only time it really matters to me and I don't feel like money is an illusion is if I have a hard time providing needs for my children, and that was way back in the day. That's about the only time I think I was really, really motivated to go back to school and get my degree. But outside of that, as long as needs are met, I wouldn't live any different. I've lived big, I've lived small. I would help people where I can, and I'm not a person about things except for the fact of making things and giving things away. I do love that. But it's a world of emotion. It's a world of people. It's a world of energy. So it's not a world of things. So all of that just gets us some little something. I mean, do I love things? Yes, I love art. I'm not saying I'm above the people who have all the things. There's actually, in the background here is a unique painting by Charles Lee, and it's fabulous. Actually, it looks like one of my daughters. She looks like she's in a bit of music herself. I mean, doesn't it look like she's standing inside of a musical instrument with the flowers? And so, does having those kinds of things bring me a bit of joy? Yes, having them brings me joy, but what brings me more joy is I feel like I'm supporting an artist. So I love to support the creative. I love to support the people who push themselves in whatever way I can. And helping artists or buying art, or even if they don't need help, like I love Dali. Dali is my Salvador Dali is my absolute favorite artist. I grew up learning to love art through loving Dali at a large Dali museum in St. Petersburg, Florida. And I do have some prints of his up on my walls because it just inspires me. I thought that was going to be a short answer. I'm not good at short. Let's just keep going. Where would you like to go on vacation? Oh, I should have read that one and had a prepared answer for that one. I don't know. The beach thing is cool, but it's okay. I mean, I live right near a beach now with beautiful white sands, and there's other beaches with the black sands and the pink sands and the emerald sands, and seen a lot of that. I've traveled around the world quite a bit. There's some places I've never gone. I think I would love if a ton of the people that I have met that are such fabulous, creative, and inspirational people along the way in Facebook and YouTube and a couple of the Facebook groups that I'm a part of, I would love to have all of us travel to the same place. All of us with all of our needs met, no worries, everybody's feeling good and healthy, and we're all hanging out in this. It would take a pretty massive room. Then that would be a party. That would be a vacation, and that would be a lot of fun. Now that one I can sink my teeth into. I like that idea. Huge crafting mamas and pink poodle crafters and the other craft hoarders. My goodness, there's some funny ladies in there too. I mean, in those groups, that would be fabulous. If we had a lot of them get together and just one big shebang party. It doesn't even matter where, because all that matters is the people. The next one would be whether I choose diamonds or pearls. Pearls for sure. But you can see just by looking at me, even though I've made jewelry and I haven't made jewelry in a while, but even though I do make jewelry, I'm not big on wearing up the jewelry. I like to give it away, but there's something about the elegance of a simple pearl necklace, very, very modest. Yeah, even when I dress up, I tend to adorn myself with things that have meaning. And the last question that Dust Fairies had for me was, do I like cats, dogs, or no pets? I like all animals except reptiles. Not a big reptile person. I freak out a bit with reptiles. I suppose if a bear was to walk into my living room, I'd freak out on that too, but I don't currently have any pets. It would be wrong to have a pet because they need so much one-on-one love and attention, and we travel too much for that. I miss my cat. My daughter has him now. I kind of miss the dog, so I guess if I was to choose between cat and dog, it would be the cat. And she also has the dog, so she has the cat and the dog. When she grew up and moved out. I actually call my Roomba, you know, that robotic vacuum that goes around and vacuums your house for you? I call my Roomba my turtle. And one of these days I'm going to figure out how to decorate the top of that thing to look like a turtle. Still processing because there's buttons I have to press. I can't just make it a turtle. So I'm still thinking of how I can make that a turtle. But yeah, that would be my pet. My vacuum cleaner, named George. I name everything George until I come up with a name. And then if I forget what I named it, I name it George again. Anyway, my vacuum cleaner named George. That's all the questions. Now, I know that you may or may not want to tune in for this part, so feel free if you don't want to hear about it, but I live with a permanent migraine. It does not go away. It does not get better. Sometimes it does get worse, so I guess if it gets worse, sometimes it does get better, but it doesn't get better to the point that I'm free. And it causes nausea and its own other kinds of problems because I don't sleep. I have a wickedly bad memory, wickedly bad. Primarily short-term, primarily verbal. It's pain. It's intense pain. I don't like to talk about it because that doesn't define me. But I do talk about it if I feel like I can help somebody else. I've had some emotional things happen. That's probably not a first video log kind of conversation. So there's other things that I deal with that they are what they are, but they make me who I am. But to get where I'm going with this, in the month of December, I was dealing with some wicked pain, and when it gets really, really bad and it gets overwhelming and I can't lay down and I can't sit up and I can't think, I can't focus, I can't do anything, but I can put paint to paper. I can craft with paper. I can't always do jewelry because often when the pain's that bad, I shake. But I don't care what the end product looks like. It's the process that makes me meditate differently. I mean, I do meditations, but you can only meditate so long. So in the month of December, it was so intense that I just crafted and crafted and crafted, and I just didn't stop. And then I get around to the end of December, and I wasn't so bad. And in either the last day of December or the first couple of days of January, I did some research online, and I found out that there's a science behind it. There's actually clinical research studies, several of them, quite a few of them that have been done, or at least several that I found. I'm sure it's a lot more than that say you, during the process of creating arts, the creative arts, it helps reduce anxiety. It helps improve a person's well-being. Even if they were just, and one of the samples was talking about, or one of the studies was talking about how even if they were just diagnosed with something, not something they've been living with for a long time, that it gives them something else to talk about. It gives them hope. It gives them another path. Or if they feel helpless and hopeless, it gives them... Okay, so my video was truncated, but I'm just going to leave it there. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to click subscribe.